What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Carriage Chronicles. We're working here on a rainy Thursday. So we're doing some preparation. We're constantly working to sort of make sure that this place is stable and safe for us to be working in, relatively safe. So, as you can see, we've done a lot of cross bracing. This entire wall over here is going to have to come down. This is beyond saving. Got some severely compromised roofing area over there. That's going to need shoring up. We're going to try and save most of this here, but we did need to work this corner ridge back in there. It's probably hard to see in the video, but this back wall over here is severely tilted back that way. Those are going to have to be pulled. These two walls here are going to have to be pulled back together. This top actually came in this way, so that top is going to have to get pushed. That bottom is going to have to get pulled that way, sort of straighten up these walls. We're not under any assumption that by the time we're done the framing that this is going to be perfectly plumb, level, and or square, but we're going to get it as good as we can, under, budget and time constraints, that sort of thing. And then basically the plan is to sort of frame a house inside this house, because all of this old framing, well, some of it's good. It's really not up to code. We've only got a 2x4 wall over here. We're going to need a 2x6 wall in order to get modern insulation. And then we've spoken with the structural engineer and the house mover. We're going to need a second floor over there sort of to keep the walls from bowing and spreading as we lift it. We're not going to be able to have a first floor per se, because that's where the cribbing and the steel beams and everything for the raising and eventual relocation of the house will be. So we will have a second floor. We won't have a first floor. So taking a closer look over here, so you can see this is the original sill beam over here. So we actually got some spots where there's a little area underneath. There's a fieldstone rubble foundation, which is probably only goes down a foot or so. You can see these little mortises right here. So there probably was a floor at some point. And you can see we've got these floor joists over here. Some areas are complete, or not floor joists, wall studs. This area of the beam is completely broken. More broken sections over here. And then there are some areas that are kind of solid. So talking with our structural engineer, what we're thinking about doing is, temporarily putting a beam across this wall, grabbing onto all these studs, probably sandwich it from the outside and then run a long beam all the way over here like a composite LVL, and then post it down outside in the corners. So that way we can come in here and we can dig probably about 2 feet underneath this whole wall. And we're going to put in is like a triple LVL, a brand new mud sill. And we're going to do that all the way around. So it's going to be kind of like a figure, it'll be like a large rectangle and then a cross beam in the middle. So it'll be kind of like a square 8 shape. And we do that, and then we actually have something solid for all of these beams to come down onto. And that's going to be good from the new structural standpoint, and then also too from the relocation standpoint, because right now, if you try to lift this up, this is just going to collapse and smush you. You don't want to do that. So I think we're probably going to try and get once we have, sort of a signed off plan from the structural engineer, we're going to get a mini excavator in here. We'll temporarily brace these walls, probably one at a time, and then build up those triple beams underneath, dig it out, build up the beam, sort of get it where it needs to go, and then set the house back down on it with some new framing, sort of to tie that all together. So that way, at the very least, we're going to have the perimeter in this middle beam through the middle fully supported by new, modern, strong structural framing. So that way that this thing isn't quite a basket case. So that's sort of our next stop. As we're going through this thing, we're really sort of trying to keep sort of we got some cool doorknobs, some interesting designs and stuff in there. And we're trying to keep all of this stuff for, is there any possible reuse for anything? You come on over here, see stuff like this great roller wheel. This is like a tin or steel clad, it's probably about 10 foot by 10 foot. This door, which was a pocket door, that sort of slid between these two. That was a fire door. Let's see, something written on there. It says American copper and steel. So that's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, we're trying to keep all that stuff, and who knows what we could do with that. Maybe that'd be like a nice accent piece. We could actually maybe turn that into a wall. And we got these cool pocket doors. We actually rehung them, not pocket doors, barn doors rather. We rehung them, and they're actually functional now. So, but if you come on over here, broken wall, they're hanging level. See if you can see, that's about 12 inches right there between that wall. And this is probably a 10-foot high door. So, touching up there, a foot down there. So we've got some work to do to get this sort of stuff stabilized. So anyway, that is where we are with the carriage house at this point. It is the beginning of April, and yeah, we're waiting on some info from the structural engineer, but we are slowly chipping away. It'd be nice to have a roof one day. Still trying to figure out how we're gonna get like some plywood and a membrane up there to make this place a little more watertight, but that's the next problem to solve. All right, thank you guys for checking it out. Like and subscribe the Carriage House Chronicles if you're digging the content, and let us know. Cheers.